Hello, this is Black Country Blokes chewing the fat.
Listen.
I've been hearing a lot lately about men don't talk, but in my experience, men do talk, just people aren't listening. So it's going to be me and a group of blokes discussing our struggles and victories through life. Warning, there may be some bad language, so apologies to all the moms, especially my own. Let's get going.
Listen.
Abin, yeah, this is Black Country Blokes chewing the fat. With me, Kev Dillon, Aaron Jew, and we've got a very special guest on today, Sue Morris. And Sue, you're our first woman guest.
Oh, thanks, Kev. That's great.
I've known Sue for over 10 years. Sue is a aromatherapist, now is a qualified yoga instructor,
Yeah.
and also does counselling.
Yeah.
And it intrigues me, like how you say, like the bond of the body and the mind get together.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of why I do all those three things, Kev, because they've always seemed to link together, and that's how I got into counselling. Was when I was doing my I don't do it so much now, but doing my aromatherapy and reflexology, and talking to people about stress and what was going on in the body. You can't help but get into the mind as well. So, lots of things related to our physical body, what's going on with aches and pains and headaches and lots of illnesses. A lot of them begin with stress. And so that's when I got into talking to people as being really important to get to the bottom of what's going on for somebody. And now I've sort of bring the two together, and I've just qualified in yoga, so it's taken me a while. But,
Well done. We do it every Tuesday with me, and I thought, there's no way on God's green earth you'll ever catch me doing yoga. But we've been doing it now for the last couple of months, and I feel so much better.
Yeah.
And the relaxation, because I've done a lot of hypnotherapy with Nick and Alexander Walker.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of thing, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
relaxing the body.
Yeah.
First you get the body relaxed,
Yeah.
then you get your breathing, and then you get your mind. And it's amazing what we can do.
Yeah. It's really good how they all go together, isn't it?
Have you ever done yoga?
Yeah.
I have, yeah. The wife got me onto yoga, so she does it quite a lot.
Oh, does she?
She really
Yeah.
enjoys it because she's into meditation as well.
Yeah.
And she kind of finds that as like an alternative form as well with a bit of exercise.
Yeah.
I've tried it, so I think initially when I tried it, I was trying to be the strong one in the group and like hold myself up, and I was struggling in terms of like I don't think I was relaxed enough.
Right.
But then when I did it for a few months. As I got more relaxed, I did find it quite relaxing, almost to the point I wanted to snooze at the end of the session.
Well, that's everything.
Enjoy it now.
Yeah.
And you're saying you've got to go with your body.
Yeah.
If you can only stretch to there, then only stretch to there. Don't force it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's gradually, step by step, building up the strength, but rather than pushing yourself too much so that you hurt something. And it's also about, it's a bit like the counselling actually, it's about awareness of what's going on for you, and that's what I do in the counselling, is by talking to people about what's going on in their lives. You start to get aware of your thoughts, and you start to think, well, perhaps I could think a bit differently about that.
So, have you got any like tricks to the trade, like for relaxation, or sometimes you're having a bit of a panic attack or an anxiety attack?
Yeah. Well, breathing is one of the best things. Is just trying to be aware of your breath and go with it. Just trying to relax your shoulders. I think one of my best thing is feeling your feet on the ground is a good one, because when we get anxious, everything happens in your head. Your heart stops pounding, you get sweaty and hot and all those things, and you sort of lose a sense of where you are. But by just, if you can concentrate, getting your feet on the ground, taking some breaths and getting yourself a bit steadier, and get yourself a bit of space, perhaps just to calm down, slow everything down, then it brings that calmness back a bit. So, but panic attacks and anxiety is something I deal with a lot in counselling. And they can be very, very debilitating. You know, people don't realise
I've had them and it's horrible.
What's going on.
You feel like you're going to have a stroke, don't you?
Yeah, you can. People do get, you know, admitted to hospital, and it you know, because they think they're having a heart attack, because they can be that strong. Your heart can really pound, and you can get dizzy, you can get sick, you can get headaches. You know, it can be quite a strong feeling, and you know, and especially in your Black Country Blokes, Kev, you know, talking about that happening in school or when you're with your mates over things, and it's something you don't want to tell anybody about.
Absolutely.
You start to think, what's the matter with me, and why am I like this? And in fact, anxiety is quite a normal reaction to things. It's a protective way of dealing with things. So, and then that's where the body and mind start to come in together. That, you know, your body starts to react. So then your mental things come in. There's something wrong with me. I'm no good. You know, I shouldn't be like this.
A bit of shame, isn't it?
Shame,
well, am I weak if I'm feeling like, am I a lesser man or woman for feeling? You're thinking, we are what we are. We are human beings.
Yeah, and we need anxiety to protect us, actually. You know, if we're in a scary situation, it's telling us we need to get out of it. But sometimes it can go into override. And our mind can tell us we're in a scary situation when we're not necessarily. So that's when working on the mental things comes in with counselling, looking at what are you thinking about yourself, what are you thinking about the situation. But the kind of counselling I've started to do is, which I've trained in the last couple of years, is bringing those all together. And I've qualified with something called the REACH approach, which is integrative and holistic psychotherapy, with the idea that by working on things like relaxation and positive affirmations and doing some of those things to help us to reverse some of that negative thinking, but also looking at the body as well. By helping the body to relax, you're sort of reversing what the nervous system does automatically. And that's what we do in yoga, isn't it? Yeah. We've been doing that relaxation. And actually doing the postures. I don't know if you've noticed, but when we sort of do a posture and then we relax a little bit, you can do it a little bit more, can't you? You know, you can sort of work with the relaxation and the strength together, so they go in hand in hand. Yeah.
Like with the boxing, I've seen it, like, and people go like, can I pay £20 for a strength conditioner? Can I pay £20 for a dietitian? And I went, but we won't want to go and talk to yourself about something that's going on in our heads. But if that's not right, taking anything else move forwards. Before I address my problems with food, how will I? A diet won't work if I haven't addressed the problem with food. With exercise, why am I doing it? Is it because of body dysmorphia? Or is it because I actually want to be healthy? Is it because I want to be an athlete? Or is it how I fit into this shirt, or how I fit into that circle in the pub, if that makes sense?
Yeah, that's a really great point, Kev, because especially with social media these days, I think there's even more pressure on how you look, isn't there? And people are, you know, putting their faces and their bodies out there, and like you say, it's coming from how you feel inside. That's about yourself. That's the place to start. That self-love.
So you started off with the cancer. You were saying, what was the organisation you used to work for? From the 13 to whatever?
Oh, well, I used to work with the Watts Centre.
The Watts Centre.
Yeah. So I'm working with the younger age group, 13, which is in Stourbridge. Still going strong, But
good. I'm glad that's the Watts.
The Watts Centre
in Stourbridge. That's wonderful.
Great organisation. It's a charity that's been going over 30 years. Started in Stourbridge. Just to have some kind of service for young people to go to talk about things and problems and housing and education, that sort of thing. But it evolved into a really great counselling service, and I know they get lots of referrals from doctors now, and take on loads of young people from 13 to 25.
And when you think of 13 to 25, that's like 3-4 generations of gap, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So it provides. Well, that's it. And you kind of learn in counselling. You learn to work with different age groups depending on your speciality, I guess.
Because I believe it's brilliant they're starting at 13.
Yeah.
But could you imagine the better results if we were starting at 7?
Yeah.
Because I believe, in my opinion, you might disagree.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the time we try and fix something that's been broke for 30 years.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, all right then, you're a repeat criminal, you're a repeat drug addict, you're a repeat this, you're a repeat. And you're thinking, if you'd have got me when I was a kid going, why are you so angry?
I've seen that so much in the care system.
Yeah.
So social care is part of my life. I have siblings from the care system. And luckily we got them quite young, but even then, I'm talking 6 and 7 years old, they've already got some habits formed. So when you get into children, absolutely. But then when you got people, say in your teenage years, they have a certain level of, should we call them skills or things that they can do, and that's all they know. So you're trying to move them into another arena where it's making them feel uncomfortable. They're going back to their safe haven, and I see that all the time, and it's a shame really, because we, from the outside, we blame that person. No, that person's naughty, or he's an offender, or he's something. But it's a broken cycle, and I don't believe that some of the things we have, going off on a bit of a tangent here, that the rehabilitation system, I don't think it's made to actually rehabilitate you. I think it just kind of keeps you, say, incarcerated for a short amount of time, and then you put back into the same society with no extra skill set. But one thing, just adding to that, which hopefully adds a bit of value, is I did a podcast yesterday with the Mental organisation. So they got a podcast called the Mental Podcast, and they've just passed a petition, 196,000 signatures they got, to incorporate mental illness into the curriculum in education. So this September, children will have some level of understanding. So at least we're aware of it, because I think as a society we all need to take responsibility for being able to help or support, or at least signpost people.
And I hope they do it in the right manner.
Of course.
I hope they do it in the right caring manner, because a lot of the time they've got the right ideas, but they do it in the completely the wrong way, don't they? Have you seen that?
Well, I think things are changing a lot, and people are recognising that kids need listening to in schools. And when I was at the Watt Centre, we were sending counsellors into schools, and there is a lot more development going on in that area these days. And it's just that awareness that I actually came across a really interesting study the other day in the paper about being more aware of quiet children in schools, which I think is really, really interesting. Introverts versus extroverts, and that more space needs to be given for kids who are naturally quiet, because schools tend to be geared towards standing up in class and speaking.
Or the high achievers.
For example, but the quiet children can be very high achievers. They're just quiet,
that's true.
So that all these sort of psychological things are filtering through, and and schools I think do a lot of great work with you've got some great teachers. I know when I was at school, Kev, I had some great inspiring teachers, and I think they do a great job. So
you're saying about the quiet kid. I heard the same about it once. I hope I get it right. A confident man only speaks when he's got something to say.
Right.
And it's so true. You truly quiet people, and he pipes in. He's got me. I'm a rattlebox. I live on my nerves. I'm like my dad. I have to keep talking. Keep talking, keep it going. Whereas one of my best friends, Alan Parry, he's one of the funniest men I've ever met in my life. But he talks when he's got something to say.
Right.
And that's the difference between us both.
Yeah. My dad was like that. He was a really strong man, but he was very quiet. And when he spoke, it was words of wisdom. He was a lovely man, Dad. So so I think but we're all different.
We are all different.
If you want to know about counselling, I think that's where I come from, is that everybody is unique, and we're all special, and all our stories and backgrounds are different, and we just evolve to be who we are. But it's finding that, you know, that joy in being yourself, that is the important thing, and that's probably the aim of counselling, is to help people feel happy with being who they are.
Love that.
Yeah, so that's...
Just on that, if I may add,
Yeah.
the joy of being yourself goes back kind of with self-love, I suppose, being
Yeah.
comfortable in your body.
Yeah.
Another episode I did with a lady, and she said two things that really resonated with me. She says, most often it's our thoughts, obviously, that dictate our emotions and our behaviour.
Yeah.
And she says what we sometimes need to do, touching on your point about the awareness thing, we need to be aware of the thoughts that are in our head, for example. Firstly, are they true?
Yeah.
And secondly, I'm going to lose my train of thought now. Secondly, who were they given by? I.e. your parents, and was that based on facts effectively? So might have butchered that just ever so slightly, but it makes you think that we go through life and just taking opinions of people, and what that does is shapes our environment, and then we live in that environment, and that might not necessarily be what we're comfortable in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think as we grow, and you know, we start to work out what's important to us, and we can filter out, do I need that now, you know? And it's, I always see it like, you know, taking off an old coat, do I need that anymore?
Absolutely,
you know,
of course.
and having a look at it, no, I don't think that's useful anymore, so I'll have this one which makes me feel stronger. Or
It's not cold out, so I haven't got to wear my big coat.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's
a great analogy, yeah.
That's a good analogy. Yeah.
But I think, look, with that information that you're going into, when you're a kid, all information is fact.
Yeah.
You know, because you say, like, your friend goes, well, if you do that, you go, well, what would you like?
Yeah.
And I think what we've come to nowadays is because we've got so much information coming to us from Facebook, from Google, from the newspaper. We haven't got that thing where we're thinking, well, that's fake news. We're either questioning everything or accepting everything.
Yeah.
And there's no, because so much information is coming at us, and if you believe it is fact to you, until it's proven different.
Yeah. You're right there, Kath, definitely. There's a lot of information that you know is being poured at us day in, day out, isn't there, with Facebook and what other people think and
But
the media.
And a lot of time it's not what they, my opinion is this, it is, this is gospel truth. And you're thinking, well, who says?
There's a fantastic book called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. It's a brilliant book. In fact, it was actually banned initially, so the Napoleon state wouldn't accept it for some reason, because it's quite controversial. Anyway, I finished that book, and what they explain is, so I'm talking for education, and I'm talking on a bit of a religious background, so for example the church. What they're saying is that most often our beliefs and our environment and everything is shaped by these matter-of-fact things that are taught to us just through generations with no real substance or anything, and effectively that's the way that we just go through life believing stuff. And he explained that I think it's something like 2 in 100 people will actually think for themselves, and he says what happens is we don't go to school to actually think, we go to school to regurgitate information. That's what I was great at. I was an academic, I went from grammar school to getting a degree, but all I could do was look at that, remember it, but I had I never really used to test myself in terms of trying to understand it, trying to apply it to life. So we're almost kind of, I suppose, guinea pigs going through, just regurgitate how much can you remember for the exam, because this is the way society is going to teach you. And it was just really like eye-opening, because I thought, wow, whereas now I'm trying to unwind all of that and trying to peel back and trying to think a lot more about, okay, so-and-so says this, I used to have this limiting belief in my life, which affected my anxiety over here. I need to strip that back now, and it's a lot of work, and I just wish people, especially at a younger age, don't have to wait till they're 33, for example, like my age.
But well, it's a process, isn't it? And you know, we can't help be born into the environment we're in. So you know, and I do work with parents and children as well. And I think as parents, we try and do the best we can. And you know, actually that's probably where I was thinking about this question, Kev, when you asked me to do this. Where did I get interested in counselling? It was probably when I was bringing up my kids, and I got 4 kids, and they were fighting, and you think, oh goodness, what do we do with this? And I started to get interested in communication and listening, and I came across a lovely book, and it was called How to Talk So Kids Will Listen, and Listen So Kids Will Talk. And it's a lovely book, and I think that sparked my interest in listening, and sometimes just, you know, stepping back and listening to somebody is, you know, without trying to fix it, you know, just be like you were talking a bit earlier, Kev, about people just having the chance to talk, and I think that's really powerful. Just sometimes just being there, somebody to just accept what they're saying. So that's where I started with my own kids, actually.
Yeah, it's a great place to start.
Yeah.
And they've turned out all right, haven't they?
Well, you have to ask them that. Sure they have, yeah. They have, they're all wonderful. So,
But it's funny how something in life can push you into what you go into, be it a negative thing, the drink or something else, because something, or it can turn into something positive. You know what I mean? And just by that, think of how can I better listen to my children, teach you a skill that you take into counselling, which takes you on to Rumfair, which takes you on to yoga. They're all the same thing, aren't they?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's all, it's kind of following your own intuition as to what drives you, really, isn't it? Yeah.
And have you noticed over the years of counselling, because how many years have you been doing it now?
Oh, probably about 15 that I actually started to train in counselling, probably about 15 years.
And have you noticed it's changed? People have changed within that time. Do you think there's more depression now, more anxiety, more... sorry, bro. Sorry.
I don't think so, really, Kev. I think people are just always being people.
Yeah.
And it's probably... We haven't had the counselling to talk to people about it before. I know when I was young, I had a lot of anxiety myself at school and dropped out of university because of anxiety. And but there just wasn't the facility at all. It wasn't considered to talk about it. And had I done that at university, I don't think I'd have dropped out of university.
So do you think there's just as much, it just wasn't talked about?
Perhaps not so
Probably
much
in different ways
awareness.
then,
But
suppose.
different ways. But also, there's a lot going on with, I think, your generation brought up with social media is very different to mine, and how that impacts on people. It puts a lot of emphasis on having to look right, be perfect, and speak to each other on the phone as well.
Yeah, of course.
Which has got its goods and its bads, I think actual talking to each other is really important, isn't it? You do unfortunately see a lot of people just sitting together but on their phones instead of, talking. So
Well, Craig mentioned this, he's one of the other lads who's on here. And he says, back in the day, if you were having a problem with your husband or whatever, it'd be, put the kettle on, I'll be round in the morning. Now you'll just type on things, say, how is he, what's happening? And that knowing that someone would pop around, put the kettle on, it's a brilliant British expression, isn't it? Put the kettle on, and we go around and we'd sit there. And even if you'd say, I don't really want to talk about it, all right, then we'll talk about the deals on at Morrison's, we'll talk about.
Yeah, just talking about anything would be nice, just to know that you're with people and somebody cares about you. I think that's the thing. I mean, actually, where I was brought up in Birmingham, in Saltley, my mum ran a shop in Saltley, and I think people used to pop in the shop to, I remember that, in our street, to chat to mum. They'd always be nattering and talking about their problems in the shop. It was a bit more of a Coronation Street type thing then, but perhaps we need a bit more of that.
But look at that now, because we haven't even got the cashier in the supermarket to have a chat to. In some pubs, you can sit at the table, order your drink and your food, so you haven't even got to go and learn how to wait in a queue. To say, sorry, were you in front of me? Could I have a drink, please? We whatever, the big brother, whatever it is teaching us not to socialise, whereas we're tribal animals. We need to be around people and how are you, and feeling a bit lousy, I'm feeling great, and we're just learning how to either sit at home and the delivery will come, we'll cook it, we'll eat on our own, we'll type our thoughts about the day, but we haven't seen another bugger. And
So true.
how horrible.
Which is where your boxing club is great, Kev, because, you know, that's why I've loved coming to do yoga here at the boxing club, because you've got such a great atmosphere of, you know, getting kids in and building their confidence and doing stuff together. You know, that all really counts, I think.
It's lost skills.
Having a social life, isn't it?
A handshake.
Yeah.
And it made me laugh when I shake someone's hand and I go, hello, and I'll turn away. And I'm thinking, well, my mum said all those years ago she did a course, I can't remember what it's for, business or something, and they have to teach people how to, hello, if you're a receptionist, hello, I'll be with you in 2 seconds. Nothing infuriates me more than when it's normally in a doctor's surgery, and you stood there and they just type on the computer. They haven't got the common courtesy to lean up and go, 2 seconds, I'm just busy.
Well, all those little things make a difference. So that's why your club's great, Kev, because you know, you bring people together, don't you? And doing this for people is lovely to bring back that chatting.
Absolutely,
having
that
a
community
natter,
aspect.
Community aspect.
Can I just ask you a question then, Sue? In relation to your university, you said earlier that you left because of anxiety. Now, my anxiety wasn't as bad at university as it was in secondary school. But I'm sure there's people listening who may be going to university or college suffering with that. Did you firstly know it was anxiety? Or
no, I didn't at the time.
Could you explain? Do you remember those feelings?
Well, I used to sit in seminars and I just didn't speak. And it just got worse and worse. And I just didn't feel I could contribute to what was going on, and I ran away. So, but as it happened, I ran away to London, and I got a job working for the benefits office, and I was thrown into probably the biggest education of my life, working, you know, and then I worked for Citizens Advice Bureau in London. So it's probably a great education for getting over my anxiety, because I had to deal with all sorts of problems and you know, and build up talking to people. So
that takes a lot of courage, Sue, because a lot of people, you've run away from that, then you're thrown in the deep end. A lot of people would have sank then.
Or run away again.
Absolutely.
So that was really good, and that was perhaps where I started when I worked for the Citizens Advice Bureau in London for a few years, and you know, and I was talking to a lot of people about their problems, and probably where the counselling bug really got started, I guess, just listening. But there you had to be sort of active sorting out difficulties and housing and all sorts, but I love that, But then I went back to university, so so I did a degree in art education then, and then I had 4 children, and then I did my aromatherapy and stuff, and then I did another degree in complementary therapy. So I made up for it.
Fantastic.
Well done.
And then I got into teaching, and then I got into counselling.
And then you've just passed your yoga.
Then yoga, but yoga I
wonderful.
started when I was 15. So I've done yoga on and off for a long time, but it's sort of wait till the kids have all grown up and got grandchildren now. So I've got time to do it. So, and I'm loving it. So really loving doing the yoga. So that's great. Really enjoying it.
Well, so we're going to finish now, but have you got any a quote or something that you thought that's helping get through life, or one of your things that you always use in counselling?
I'll tell you my favourite quote. It's Winston Churchill, if I can remember it. It's success is not final, failure is not fatal, it's the courage to continue that counts.
Well, thank you very much, Sue. So until next week, gang.
Okay.
Ta-ra a bit.
Listen.
And that's a wrap for another show. But if there are any comments or messages that you would like us to read out for our next podcast, please be in touch. There are also lots of different organisations at the bottom of this page, and hopefully they can help you or someone you care about. Please share this to spread the word. Until we talk next time, ta-ra a bit.
Listen.